We are going to continue to fight for those voices. We're going to continue to fight for the Americans who stood up and gave us that air under our wings that allowed us to accomplish things that no political expert would have ever expected.
Rick Santorum announcing yesterday what he won't continue is his campaign for the Republican nomination. Good morning, Paul Lindman. Scott Lynn, the early morning update Wednesday in Portland. What are conservatives saying about Romney now? Let's bring in one of our favorite conservative talkers, John LeBoutelier, former U.S. congressman. He's an author. He's a pundit. You see him on Fox News on the Campaign Insider Show. John, what do you think? Are conservatives going to buy Romney or not?
Good morning. Some of them are going to buy him sort of half holding their nose, because they hate Obama, and they'll vote for him. They'll never embrace Romney ever as one of theirs. They'll never believe he's a conservative. There's great distrust of him on the right, but not enough to prevent him from getting the nomination, obviously. But that's going to be a problem for him, the same way it sort of was 4 years ago with McCain, where you're the nominee of the conservative party in America, the Republican Party, but you're always worried about your right flank, whereas Reagan and George W. Bush, even though he was a phony conservative, but the conservatives embraced him, those two presidents never had to worry about their right flank. They could work on the middle a little bit, which Reagan did very effectively, move to the middle on certain things and get those voters. But Romney's going to always have one eye on the right and one eye trying to move to the middle.
After the Illinois primary, you wrote that GOP voters are unenthused by the Republican candidates, and the implications for November are worrisome. Do you feel that way still?
I do, because what you see in these primaries was, in all of them except South Carolina, Republican turnout was down in some cases 15 to 18%, in some states, a little bit less than others, from 4 years ago. So in a year where people want to get rid of Obama, Republican voters were unenthused about their own Republican field and weren't even bothering to vote in Republican primaries. Now, what does that mean for November? Are those people who didn't vote in their primary going to still come out and vote in November? I would think most probably will, but if, let's just make a number up, 5% of them, just 5%, remain unenthused and say, the hell with it, I'm not voting for anybody, and stay home, we will lose the election just on that alone, because all the liberals and all the Obama people will vote. They will all come out and vote, and our people, if 5% stay home, we won't win the presidency, and we could even lose some Senate and House seats because of it.
The never-say-die Newt Gingrich took to Twitter to ask for donations and urge Santorum backers to join him in a last stand for conservatives. I mean, is there any reason for him to continue on at this point?
Well, you have to know Newt Gingrich, which we all do from afar. I know him a little bit personally, being in the House with him, but I don't really know him. But he's a massive egomaniac, and he loves you two guys and me talking about him, which we won't be doing if he drops out of the race. So he is going to stay in the race. This is his last rodeo. He's 68. He won't be running for president again. So I think he stays in. I think he probably feels great today that Santorum dropped out. He outlasted Santorum. And in his mind, some of Santorum's supporters will come over to Newt to try to stop Romney.
We haven't even talked about the 7 to 10 point deficit that Romney is facing in most polls. So bottom line, how would you describe the mood of the true American conservative right now, given what this election is stacking up to be?
Pretty upset because we want to beat Obama. We want to change the role of the government in America. We have big changes that we think have to happen, and we don't have a guy to lead us into doing it. We don't have one. We really didn't have one throughout the whole primary season. We kept looking from Trump to Bachmann to Perry to Kaine to Gingrich to Santorum. We never really found a true Mr. Conservative. And until you find one, I think the right's going to be pretty unenthused.
Former Congressman, conservative pundit, and author John LeBoutelier, a regular here on the Morning Update. John, always appreciate your views. Thank you very much.
Thank you both.